Recognition Service Manager from Pearson PT Academic. Thank you so much, Shelly, for joining in. All right, can we move to the next slide, please? So, a very, very warm welcome to all our panelists. Of course, there are two more people that I will be introducing. So, a panel of five uh, people are on board today, this evening. However, unfortunately, Mrs. Anisha Sharma has not been able to join in because of some emergency situations at her end. So, of course, I would take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Vasudha Neelmani. She is the principal of Rockwoods International School. Then we have Mrs. Richa Kumar. She is principal Rahul International School. Then, unfortunately, Mrs. Anisha Sharma would not be able to join in. She is principal Grace International School. May we move to the next slide, please? And of course, we have Mrs. Ajanta Kar. She is principal SG International School. She was having some issues with the joining link, so I hope my technical team is trying to bring her on as well. I think she is on board now. So thank you so much for joining in. And we have Asna Fareen. She is. I think I've got my team. Unfortunately, has got her name wrong. I think she is Asna Fareen, if I'm not wrong. Um, so she is representing a school in Bangladesh, uh, close to Dhaka. So it's great. Of course, she is from India, but she is representing that school. So it's great to have her on board as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking out time and joining us in this evening. All right, can we move to the next slide, please? All right, so the idea behind this session, ladies and gentlemen, is to give our US universities, US university partners, an idea of how the students, how the parents, have been feeling all this while. What are the inhibitions that they have in their minds? So we want to unravel that, and who better it could have been than these heads of institutions, these people who have given so many years of their lives in this field. So they are very closely interacting with parents, with students, and they kind of are experiencing the nerve. So my very first participant, or one of my very first panelists that I would like to invite is Mrs. Richa Kumar. She is principal Rahul International School. So Naveen, could you please make her the presenter? All right, Mrs. Kumar, if you can hear me, then you just need to turn on your audio and your video so that we are good to go.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Well, a very good evening, Mrs. Kumar, once again, and it's definitely very nice to have you on board tonight. So I would like to address this question to you, and of course, whenever we are interacting with U.S. university representatives, they are very keen to know as to how things have been with schools, and how have Indian schools, how have students coped during this very peculiar, strange situation of COVID. So I would love for you to love you to go ahead and shed some light on that. The floor is all yours now.
Thank you so much, and a very good evening to everyone who's listening to me. The pandemic has pushed us to actually reinvent ourselves in different ways to cope with this new normal. That's the first thing which I would like to tell you. When this situation arose and we had the message about it, that how to go ahead with this, the first step that schools took was to train the teachers to be ready to handle situation. After this, it was to make the parents ready about it, and also the students were the next in line. So it was something that came to us, and we have handled it in such a way wherein we knew that the stakeholders had to be hand-holded in this process in order to face the situation. Because the situation was in front of us, we could see. Earlier, it was whether it's just a rumor, but slowly, as soon as things came up, we were cautious about it. We first trained the teachers how you have to be cautious. Teaching online was something where the teachers were reinventing themselves, because in India we have different kinds of teachers who are very techno savvy, and teachers who are very experienced but have their inhibitions in touching technology. This is one of, we can say, their inhibition, their drawback. But then they are very quick learners. That's what we have seen. That the experienced ones, they did show the inclination that, well, I don't know whether I'll be able to do it or not. But then they have really done wonders, and they have really reinvented themselves, and they have progressed in the classroom also. Parents who were really very they were basically clueless. How long are we going to manage? Because in India, most of the schools we have seen, wherever I have worked, parents are very, very comfortable once they have sent the child. They just trust you, they leave the child in your hands, and they want the best for them. Here we have seen that the parents were frantic with all these messages floating around. But the best part was that the parents trusted us, and they paid attention to what was to be followed, and then was educating the children that in this situation, how you have to face. We had helplines systems, we had mentor teachers who were helping the students, because technology was something that was not very popular even at homes. Mothers were having the mobile phones, they had the Android phone, but they were not very well I mean, they were not knowing how to use it. So educating them, keeping a mentor for them, and ensuring that the students were attending the online. I remember when we started, the percentage was hardly 20%. But slowly, when we started interacting with the parents after the session, okay, what problems you faced? Can we help you out? Can we do you a session? Can we ask the mentor to just do a WhatsApp call for you to make you understand how it is? Slowly, when we started making things easy, when we started hand holding, things improved. And this is how this schools coped up with this pandemic challenges that happened. Many a times we had students who were losing their cool because they were not able to understand what the teacher was trying to communicate, mostly because of the internet connectivity issues. Teacher was well prepared, teacher was trying to impart, but because of the internet connectivity, the messages, the lessons would not reach the student. Now again, it was a big challenge for us. So again, we revised our module specifically for the younger lot, and we started preparing videos where teacher was very communicative, and those videos were posted on the WhatsApp group. So then we found a solution where the parent were happy, because at their pace, even if a mother and father are working, at least that video was there. When they came back, they were able to offer that sessions to the child, and that was the benefit. Because online teaching for these youngsters without support of the parent was something which was very difficult. So these situations that arose for us were resolved in this way, where links were sent to the students. Okay, at your spare time, kindly go through this link. It has videos of the teacher who's teaching, and then it was taken ahead. These are few challenges that I have shared with all of you. I think that's all for this question. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Kumar. That was definitely very insightful. Can we please move to the next slide? And I think Mrs. Sharma is not available. Yes. So I would request Mrs. Kumar, of course, to shed some light on this as well, since Mrs. Kumar is not available. Sorry, Mrs. Sharma is not available. Then maybe you could take some time and talk about this as well. So what are the inhibitions that students and parents that you would have come across are facing,
Sure.
particularly with respect to study abroad opportunities post COVID?
Yes. We all know that lakhs of Indian students choose higher educations abroad. But the COVID situation that has come, and basically the travel restriction and health risks that are attached to the travel, make the parents think whether they should be sending their children to cities which are very far off from their own country. Parents, specifically Indian parents, are probably more uh, protective, are more involved in their students, and that's one of the major reasons that they don't want to take any risk. For them, the comfort is that the child is near them. Even if they have to pay extra, they would prefer to keep the child near them than send them away. Whereas in the West, we see the different thing, where the parent after a certain age are comfortable when they send their children away. Okay, you can go and independently lead your life, but this doesn't happen in India. I think probably in your country at present also, if we have Indian families, you must be seeing this, that few Indians still, with their own affirmative view, they may be just thinking, okay, yes, you can go ahead and stay alone. They wouldn't want that from their heart. So, this basic inhibition that students and parents are facing is basically one, the travel restrictions and the health risks that are attached to the COVID situation. These are major issues that the parents are facing, and that's the reason they don't want to send their students away. But I think if there is relaxation, wherein you can have a mix, where the parents know, okay, you can go for a few months and come back, maybe that could be a option that the parents may opt for. I think earlier also we had discussed this point when we had a chat regarding this,
Right.
that parents, they want that proximity with the child. If they don't get that, they don't want to send the child away from them.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Kumar. And now, can we please move to the next slide so that we can have the next question? And Mrs. Kumar, we'll definitely come back to you if there are any questions that would be addressed to you after everyone has presented.
sure.
All right. Naveen? Can you please make Ms. Ajanta Kar the presenter? All right, Ms. Kar, if you can hear me, you are just required to turn on your audio and your video. You would probably be seeing an audio and a video icon in the AV pod screen. I hope she's not facing any technical issues anymore. There we go. Great. Yes, Ms. Carr, you need to turn on your audio as well. We can see you. We can see you, but we cannot hear you. You need to turn on your audio. Yeah, there we go. Yes,
Okay, you can hear me? Can you hear
yes,
me?
yes, yes. A very good evening, Ms. Carr. Thank you for
Good
joining
evening.
in.
My
All right.
pleasure.
So my question to you, Ms. Carr, is that there are a lot of expectations, especially considering this new normal that we are facing. So I would want you to talk about those expectations that maybe students, parents might be having in their minds from universities in general, from international universities, particularly US universities. I mean, are they expecting some kind of change in the admission cycle, the process, the intake criteria? So whatever, you could maybe throw some light on that. Floor is all yours now. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Yes, right now with the unusual situation, the pandemic, uh, as the previous panelists mentioned, that most of the parents were very, very worried, especially in India, because we tend to we still not let our children leave the nest so fast. And when they go, the parents, Indian parents, are very, very protective about their children. And so they would be very worried about how the university will grant them admission, or will the admission criteria be relaxed a bit? Because earlier, there was the GMAT, GRE, whatever, TOEFL and other exams that are there, uh, which our students did very well. So I just wanted to know, what would the universities do to make sure that the comfort zone of the children are there? Will you be offering Zoom classes or online classes before the you know situation returns to normal? And what would be the ways that the universities can make sure that our children get there, can be admitted there easily, and even enjoy some kind of security with health benefits, with the visa problems and things like that? Because right now, as I know that many of the universities are taking in students into their colleges, sort of relaxing and waiving a few exams and things like that. So I just wanted to know, what would the universities be doing at this state? As our parents do worry, they do wonder, and they do get a little, you know, scared of sending their children far away under these circumstances. So, this is some of the problems that I think the universities will make sure that their students get in, that the intake is easier for them, that there will be online classes. And I think this year the universities will be a bit more relaxed in the way they allow the children to, you know, get into the admission courses. That's what I feel. I believe that many universities are reaching out and letting students in. They're being very careful. They're having maybe the first semester classes through online. They're allowing the children to get in based on marks and not so much on exams. They're also ensuring that the students have a comfort zone, so that even the admissions, as far as I believe and I know, that they're relaxing a lot on the payment criteria till uh, it becomes normal. So I would also feel that the university should also reach out more to the students to make sure that they are welcome, that they are they have a good comfort zone when this pandemic situation is over. In fact, many students who I have interacted with want to go overseas to study, but it's the parents that are very worried. So there has to be some kind of hand holding, some kind of mentorship program for the parents, for the students who will be going in, which will make sure that they feel very, very secure in stepping out after this pandemic and feel more at home. Because many students find that the bridging from, you know, the school exam level or the college level, going into college level, mm, they they are not yet independent or that independent to study on their own. Though many of them, the teachers are also working super fast to make sure that the students start understanding concepts, start working independently. And yes, the students keep saying, ma'am, what do we do? How do we do things? What will happen? What are the letters we have to write? So they need a lot of hand holding. And I think the university admissions should make sure that they can hold the hands of each and every individual student. Maybe make sure that they have online buddies whom they can speak with, someone they can interact with, so that when they get into the uh, university, they feel already, we have somebody we can rely on, which was earlier done by the students' representative clubs and things like that. I think these are some of the things that one would expect from the universities, which I'm sure they're doing.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Carr. I think those were some vital inputs there. Counseling sessions, moderating sessions, and of parents that you mentioned, and even online buddies that you mentioned. So thank you so much, Ms. Carr, and we'll definitely get back to you during the question answer round if there are some questions that being addressed to you. All right, can we move to the next slide, please?
Thank you very much.
All right, can we have Dr. Vasudha uh, being made the presenter, please? Dr. Vasudha, if yeah, there we go. Hello, Dr. Vasudha. You just need to turn on your audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All right. Thank you so much for
Hi.
taking out time, Dr. Vasudha, and it's
Yeah.
a pleasure having you on board. And I would request you to also go ahead and address question number two that we had. So
Mm-hmm.
it would be nice if you also throw some light on that. And then, of course, I would like you to talk a little bit about the national education policy and how you perceive that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Khwaja. See, my take is little different on what has been said, because I feel that because of the COVID situation, the world has shrunk. There were online courses, there were things available earlier also, but due to the pandemic, due to the online classes, there have been plethora of courses from Harvard University, from Coursera has lot of Ivy League universities. So students are benefiting a lot. So now we are talking about foreign universities. So there are two aspects to it. First aspect is that the students going abroad and studying. Number two, the students taking admission and joining online classes and studying from India. So when you talk about as you know that with being a principal of a school, I'm a career coach also. So many students who want to go and study abroad, especially related to US universities or the Ivy League universities, UCLA, they are more than okay to go and study when the situation allows them. And there are many students who are joining their classes from India only, the online classes. And I have seen a fabulous job done by the universities abroad with matching the timelines or matching the time schedule of India and US. So maybe it is a mm, 8 o'clock here, but it is a 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning here. But in US, it is eight or 9 or 10 p.m. in the evening. So they are matching up, and few students are also matching up with the things. So the students it really depends. The students who want to go and study abroad, they will go and study abroad. And I will come to one more aspect in my other questions. And because of the virtual world, now here also we have a panelist from Bangladesh. We have a few panelists or a few US universities attending us from US. So we are talking to each other, and I don't think that it is a challenge that the students or parents will not allow the students to go and study abroad. And the time will normalize, God willing, everything will fall into place. So it was a little tough situation, and I think everybody has managed it pretty well. Can you hear me, Mr. Khwaja?
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much for that input there. And of course, now I would like you to, tell us as to how you perceive, the changes that are proposed under the National Education Policy 2020. And of course, what could be the impact of this new policy on higher education, especially, considering students' interests with respect to international education, or going abroad, exploring opportunities outside India. And also the fact that the NEP has talked about opening up opportunities of international universities coming into India as well.
Yeah. So yes, it is a very welcome change if you see all the aspects in the NEP 2020. But the main thing is, the main challenge is the implementation. If it is implemented well, so yes, they will be doing, they are doing lot of things. And the other important factor is what I believe in NEP is that they have tried to make a well-rounded approach uh, of everything, and they have taken a lot of inputs from foreign education system, whether it is Cambridge, whether it is IB, or whether it is US universities. And of course, if you go deep down into it, they have gone far before the times, at the times of when we had Nalanda universities, when we had the universities like Takshila, and we had people like Aryabhatta and everything. So what we were earlier. So we had skill based education earlier, we had lot of experiential learning earlier. So they are coming back to it now. Coming to the whether it is the early childhood system, whether it is the middle school. So they are talking about the check checkpoint kind of examination after grade 5, after grade 8, after grade 12, and I think somewhere after grade 3 also. So it is a very welcome change, and that's already done in Cambridge when we talk about that. And in the higher education sector, like when you have done you have graduated with good grades in your A levels or in your IB, so you get some credit system in foreign universities. So they have called it is that at the credit bank kind of thing, or grade bank kind of a thing, wherein they will get again they will get some credits, the students will get the credits. So that is very very welcoming, and it's actually how again how we are going to implement it. They are talking about common entrance test, like we have in US we have SAT, so a scholastic aptitude test. So they are calling it as a common an entrance test, which will be run by the NTA. The most important factor here for the foreign universities is that irrespective of the students going and studying abroad, they are inviting foreign universities to have their campus settled in US, so in India. So that will be great. And I think if universities like Purdue, Princeton, Pennsylvania, or Cornell, if they Yale, or the Ivy League universities, or UCLA, if they have a campus in India, and the same quality education is been given to the students in India what they have been giving abroad, so it will be heartening to watch and consider. Then they are talking about a single regulatory body for common body for the medical and engineering examinations. So that means that there will be it will curb the thing of the coaching institutes where students are going, and it tolls heavily on them, where our students are going for the this training coaching classes for pre medical test, or pre the JE entrance. So it is we need to see how it unfolds. But yes, if it is implemented well, I feel that it will be very good to see.
Yes, very,
And
very rightly.
just a quick correction,
Yes, please.
my school is in Udaipur, Rajasthan, not Raipur, Chhattisgarh.
Okay, okay,
So
okay,
please
okay.
make
Thank
that
you for
change.
that.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Vasudha. And can we move to the next slide, please? All right. Can we please invite Mrs. Asnaf Fareen, make her the presenter, please? All right. A very good evening there. Pleasure having you on board. And so we have Miss Asna Fareen. She is representing the school in Bangladesh. Of course, she is from India, but she will bring in that international perspective to it as well. So my questions to you, of course, are with respect to Bangladesh. So the first, of course, is that which are the areas of study that students from Bangladesh are generally interested in, and secondly, if uh, we just talked about the national education policy. So are there any such kind of changes proposed um in Bangladesh? So yeah, please, you could go ahead now.
Hello and Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in place and time. And it's really a pleasant experience to, share my views about the higher education. So as introduced by Mr. Khwaja, I am a person from primary, but yeah, luckily I'm talking about the higher education. So as far as my perspective about the inclination of students towards the area of study in Bangladesh, so what is the scenario here, that their decisions are informed by so many factors: the geographical factor, the socio-economic factor, and the kind of exposure they have. Bangladesh is a nation which is fast growing nation, and it is emerging as one of the fastest economy in the world, and it is a textile hub. So they are business people, and most of the students, they want to pursue their higher studies in business management, BBA, MBA. There are chunk of students who want to go into research and innovation, but it is comparatively low as compared to the business management, BBA at the undergraduate level and MBA at the PG level. And there are students who are interested and inclined toward language studies, and there are students who want to pursue their career in languages when it comes to PG level. So they move to France, and they get scholarships. And apart from that, when we consider the economic factor of Bangladesh, they are one of the underdeveloped country, underprivileged students are there, and what they look for scholarships. So there are students which want to move to Germany because there is no tuition fee. So their decisions are informed by these many factors. And apart from that, one thing that I would like to mention, that making choices comes within. Students have to be agentic, and what I feel is their decisions are informed and influenced by others. And even if they want to study something else, so they take their decision which is influenced by others. So for to this end, I want that the university should come up with solutions so that they can make better and well informed decision about themselves, not what they want to do, also why they want to do it. So this is something which I have observed. So they are more inclined towards the business management, BBA and MBA. Yeah, so the next question is about India has recently proposed, yes, NEP has come up as a ray of hope for many Indians, and we have been eagerly waiting for this change to happen. But we need to see that it will be on paper or will we be able to implement it, because it requires a 360-degree change. When it comes to Bangladesh, there is no such change which I have observed. They are still following the rote learning methodology. The curriculum is not concept driven, rather they focus more on contact. They don't mirror the real life experiences in the classroom, and teachers are less trained. So these are the major issues in the Bangladesh educational system, and there are no changes that has come up. In last, it was the educational policy was revised in year 2010, and it is still the same. So there is nothing which is happening, and the changes which had come in 2010 still is not being implemented. So this is the scenario here, and there are things which need immediate change, especially the early elementary system. From root from top to toe, it requires a change.
All right. Thank you so much for those vital inputs. And we really
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you're taking out time. I know it was a very a challenging, it was pretty challenging for you to join in for the reasons that you had mentioned. So I really appreciate you trying managing this. Thank
Thank
you
you so
once
much,
again.
Mr. Khwaja. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be. We had done these short interviews with these principals, with these people previously, and we have prepared a montage of videos that we will be circulating, and it will be shared with everyone. And on your screens, you see these free scored practice test vouchers that would be available for all attendees. And this would be available free. And of course, we would encourage, if there are any questions from any of the attendees, they are free to write them down in this chat box that they see on the right. And meanwhile, of course, in order to stay in touch, you can just join us on Facebook. Stay in, I mean, we have this group, and you will keep getting updates on the endeavors of Simple Ed. Well, I see no questions coming up. So, well, if there are no questions, of course, I would still wait for maybe a couple of minutes. So you are requested to type in your questions in this chat box on the right that you see. And of course, I would also like to let you know that the recording of this session will be shared with you, with everyone. And for those who have not been, one of our panelists could not attend, of course, and one of the interviewees also could not make it. So this everything will be shared with all attendees and all the panelists. So thank you so much. Since we do not have any more questions, thank you all. Thank you for taking out time. Thank you for joining in. It was a pleasure having all of you on board, and definitely very, very insightful to hear from you all. So once again, thank you and have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye.